A very good morning. Welcome to this edition of News for the Hearing Impaired. I'm Rukma and with me is Rajni. Let's begin with the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch an ambitious rural housing scheme in Agra today. Scheme expected to provide affordable housing to all living below the poverty line by year 2022. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expresses gratitude towards people for working shoulder to shoulder to build a Swachh Bharat free from all forms of filth. Says poor are the most affected by corruption. Normalcy returns to Jammu and Kashmir as offices, shops and other establishments open. People come out of their homes to carry out their day-to-day activities. Vehicles, including public transport, seen plying on the roads in Srinagar. And in sports, India will try to extend lead of 298 runs against England on fourth day of second cricket test in Visakhapatnam. Ashwin's 5-wicket haul restricts England's first innings to 255 runs. Olympic silver medalist PV Sindhu reaches final of Chinese Open Super Series badminton tournament. Beats Korea's Sung Ji-hyun 11-21, 23-21, 21-19 in the semi-finals. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today launch the ambitious Pradhanmantri Awas Yojna for rural areas in Agra in UP. During the event, the Prime Minister will also distribute allotment letters to 50 beneficiaries. The government has a target to provide homes to 1 crore rural people in the next 3 years. Under the scheme, 1,50,000 rupees will be given for each house, which will be equipped with many facilities like kitchen and toilet. Rural Development Ministry has also put up an exhibition showcasing various schemes started by the ministry. Prime Minister will also address a Parivartan rally on his visit to Agra. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed gratitude towards the people for working shoulder to shoulder in freeing the country from all forms of filth, including black money and corruption. Addressing Global Citizen India Festival through video conferencing, the Prime Minister said that youth bring an energy and idealism that is unparalleled. He further said the campaign for sanitation in the country has been going on since 2 years and the young people have taken the initiative forward. The PM expressed hope that the mission of Clean India can be achieved within 1 generation. He said that poverty is the biggest curse for humanity, and that is why his government at the centre is making serious efforts to improve the condition of the poor and the downtrodden. After 11 days of demonetization of high-value notes, many banks have now started witnessing shorter queues, following restrictions on exchange of defunct bills. Saturday marked the 11th day since the government declared that 2 high-value banknotes would no longer be legal tender. On Saturday, all banks served only their respective customers and did not exchange old rupees 500 and 1000 notes. However, the restriction was not applicable to senior citizens. Meanwhile, recalibration of ATMs is on in full swing. Punjab National Bank has said that in the past 10 days, 2,000 ATMs in its own network have been recalibrated. Recalibration of ATMs is expected to enable ATMs to dispense new rupees 2,000 notes. As on date, PNB has nearly 9,000 machines across the country. In NCR region, PNB has recalibrated 229 out of 900 ATMs. Earlier this week, to ease inconvenience to the people, the government has allowed withdrawals of up to rupees 2.5 lakh for weddings and up to rupees 50,000 for farmers. The government also reduced the exchange limit to 2,000 rupees from 4,500 to ease some pressure on cash demand. Home Minister Rajnath Singh has said demonetization of high-value currency notes will curb corruption and funding to terrorism. The Home Minister thanked people for supporting the move despite inconvenience. He said the initiative will bring probity in political and administrative work and described the decision as historic, bold and in the national interest. He further added that the government is taking every step to ease the hardships faced by people and the situation will normalize soon. The Finance Ministry has said strict action will be taken against tax evaders using other people's bank accounts to convert their black money into new denomination notes. The ministry said that people who allowed their bank accounts to be misused for this purpose could be prosecuted for abetment under the IT Act. The government has also appealed to people not to be lured by black money converters and become partners instead against the crime of converting black money into white and help join the government in eradicating it. Calling black money a crime against humanity, the government has urged every conscientious citizen to help the government towards eradicating black money. Acting swiftly, the IT department has issued hundreds of notices seeking source of funds from individuals and firms who have deposited huge amounts of cash in banks using scrapped rupees 500 and 1,000 currency notes after November 8th. Officials said the taxman has begun a countrywide inquiry in this regard and has issued notices under Section 133 of the Income Tax Act, power to call for information in various cities and towns of the country. The notices were issued after banks reported to it certain cases of unusual or suspicious volumes of cash deposits in their accounts, primarily beyond rupees 2.5 lakh. In Chhattisgarh, 5 Naxalites have been gunned down by security forces in Narayanpur district on Saturday. Huge cache of arms have also been recovered from the spot. This is the second big encounter in Bastar this month after the bodies of 6 Naxals, including 3 women, were recovered post a gun battle in Dantewada on the 16th of November. Talking to media, Special DG Naxal Operations said that operations against Maoists are going on and in recent days 11 Maoists have been killed. In Jammu and Kashmir, a terrorist was killed by security forces in Bagambag Kakpora area in Pulwama district. Security forces launched an operation in Begambag area of Kakapura in the district after a tip-off about the presence of militants in the area. In the ensuing encounter, a terrorist was killed. In Assam, 3 soldiers were killed and 4 others were injured in an IED blast in Digboy area of Tinsukia district on Saturday. Defense sources say the soldiers were traveling in an army vehicle when the blast took place. The terrorists had fired upon the vehicle from both sides of the road, which are forested areas. Army has cordoned off the area. Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal has condemned the attack, saying that perpetrators will be punished. Condemning the attack on army personnel, Home Minister Rajnath Singh expressed anguish over the death of army soldiers in the blast in Tinsukia. He said the Home Ministry is closely monitoring the situation and hoped for speedy recovery of the injured soldiers. Meanwhile, Srinagar city, along with the rest of Kashmir, was buzzing with activity over the weekend with the opening of offices, shops and other business establishments. As separatists suspended their stir for the weekend, normalcy returned to the valley. After nearly 133 days of shutdown, The situation has been by and large peaceful over the last few weeks in the valley, which had been hit by clashes between violent protesters and security forces following the killing of Hizbul Mujahideen terrorist Burhan Wani in an encounter on the 8th of July. Reports of people resuming their normal life were received from most of the other district headquarters of the valley. In UP, 14 coaches of the Patna Indore Express have been reported derailed near Pukharayan town in Kanpur. The mishap reportedly took place in the wee hours today. Several passengers have been reported injured in the mishap. Railway PRO has said that medical teams have been sent to the spot and rescue operations are on in full swing. In international news, in Sana'a, Yemeni rebels and loyalist forces battled yesterday around the third city Taiz. Earlier, a 48-hour ceasefire was announced by a Saudi-led coalition fighting the insurgents, which began following US pressure. Clashes were heaviest in the town of Salo, southeast of Taiz, reporting casualties on both sides. In Taiz, rebel rockets were fired into a residential district, killing one civilian and wounding two. More than 7,000 people have been killed in Yemen and nearly 37,000 have been wounded since the coalition intervention began in March last year. United Nations is extremely saddened and appalled by the recent escalation in fighting in several parts of Syria. According to top UN officials, an immediate access to Aleppo has been urged, where government forces are waging a ferocious assault to retake rebel-held districts. In a statement, they called on all parties to cease indiscriminate attacks on civilians and civilian infrastructure. In sports, India is in command of the second test against England on the third day in Visakhapatnam with a 298-run overall lead. Virat Kohli on 56 and Ajinkya Rahane with 22 were at the crease as India were 98 for 3 at stumps in their second innings. Earlier, England fell short of India's first innings score by 200 runs as they were bowled out for 255. Off-spinner Ravichandran Ashwin grabbed 5 wickets to help India bust England's initial response. With this, Ashwin now has 5 wickets as a milestone against all test countries he has played with. It was Ashwin's 22nd 5-wicket haul from 41 tests. In the current year itself, he has 52 wickets to his credit. Olympic medalist PV Sindhu upped the ante once again to storm into the final of the China Open Super Series. The Indian ace overcame South Korean Sung Ji-hyun in a tough thriller to book her berth in the summit clash. Sindhu ranked 7th and overcame her better-ranked Korean opponent, seeded 6th in 3 games, 11-21, 23-21 and 21-19. Sindhu will now meet China's Sun Yu in the final. The Chinese 8th seed holds a 3-2 edge in the head-to-head meetings. And that brings us to the end of this edition of news for the hearing impaired. Namaskar.